What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, the new ranked rewards are out, and, obviously the rewards themselves have not been overhauled just yet, but the actual ranked play has been, and there's one glaring thing that has been made almost painfully obvious, and again, I'm very excited about where Splinterlands is and where Splinterlands is heading, but to me, this is just a sobering confirmation of the fact that the player base in this game is tiny. Very, very tiny. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's take a look at where I'm at, right? So I'm in Gold 3 right now. I'm flirting with Gold 2, but if you think about it, right, in terms of like the earnable leagues, Gold 2 would mean that I am halfway, essentially like halfway there, right? So we don't count Novice because you can't earn a Novice. And obviously Bronze through Champion means that there's 5 levels. And if I'm in the middle of the 3rd level, right, which is kind of where I'm at right now, that would mean that I should be an average-ish player, right? Just purely based on my rating. And I know a lot of the rating stuff is going to be kind of wonky in these first couple of weeks or first couple of seasons. But with the change, there's no more gold leaderboards. There's no more diamond leaderboards. There's no more any leaderboards except for the main one, which is champion. And when I click on this, I can very clearly see that there are not even 300 people ahead of me. So obviously, we already know that the long tail for the player base goes lower, right? I mean, it tends to be higher, right, at the lower levels, or should be higher at the lower levels. Although I would make the case that a majority of the people that are still playing this game are it's very top heavy. There's a lot of people who are playing in the higher levels. So if we assume, again, just assuming that I am at the average, right, that there's just as many people in front of me as there are behind me. I mean, we're looking at about 600 people playing Modern, maybe, right? I mean, sure, it could be a lot more down in Bronze and Silver, but in terms of the people playing at the higher levels, 290, and that includes Gold, right? That includes the higher 2 levels of Gold here. In fact, we can go all the way and see, all right, the top 100, this comes down to 3510. All right, that's not really going to give us much information, but I'm going to obviously try and climb the ranks as much as I can. But as soon as I went and checked the leaderboard, I was like, oh, wow, there's just not that many players at the higher levels. And what's interesting is I'll go through and I'll try to calculate, all right, if we had, 500 or 700 players playing at the max level, then it would only, I always do these calculations and it's just like, oh, it's just a couple hundred people that you need playing at max level. And the truth is, I don't even think we have a couple hundred people. Oh, well, we probably just have that, right? Maybe 200 people playing in the diamond to champ level. And then maybe the other 90 are above me in gold. So I'm just putting this out there. Again, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade here. It's just with the way things are right now, this is, or with the way things have become, right? With this new leaderboard, it's just become very, very apparent how few players there are. Now, I don't want to end on a sour note, and I've said this before, but I want to reiterate it again. This is actually probably going to be a blessing in disguise in many ways, because if there are only 600 people, if there are only, let's get a little crazy, 1,000 real people playing this game, and I'm talking specifically about modern format because we know Wild is probably botted like crazy, but we actually know that Wild is botted. But if there's 1,000 people, less than 1,000 people, less than 700, 600, whatever the number ends up being of people that are playing at significant levels in this game, it does not take much to come in and really, eat through all the assets within the ecosystem. And I know I've covered that in several other videos where I talk about like, hey, if you max out, how many max copies of this card can we have? How many max copies or max sets of like Rebellion can we have, for example? So that's the thing. It's just a matter of finding the right people who want to be part of the ecosystem and are willing to invest. And I do believe that now is probably the best time, right? So you got Killer Whales, you got this rank overhaul, you got obviously Bitcoin pumping, and hopefully the team doing some marketing later in the second half of the year. Again, if we just go from 600 players to 1,000, that's huge. If we go from 600 players to 2,000, that's huge too. So it's not. Again, it's like a sobering reality or a wake-up call of what the current status actually is. But in a way, when you think about how many people there are out there that are looking to get into crypto gaming and the amount of people that we could potentially reach with all the overhauls happening in the game, with all the marketing and PR, it actually does not take that many to come in. And, Matt, earlier on the town hall, and I'll get, my 5 biggest takeaways done soon. But earlier on the town hall tonight was talking about, they want to get this game available for hundreds of thousands of players. So, I mean, if we're talking about 100,000 players, we're talking about a 100xing the player base as it stands right now. Maybe even more than 100xing the player base as it stands right now, which would absolutely mean there would be not enough cards, not enough SPS, not enough anything for things to go around. So just wanted to share that with you. Just some raw thoughts here. As I was going through, I literally clicked on it. I was like, oh, I need to talk about this because I was expecting to be hopefully like 500 plus range, right? Because now everything was going to be out there and available. But this just kind of showed to me like, oh man, even in like bottom of gold, bottom of the barrel gold. It's just, there's not that many people playing at the highest levels. And again, there's probably, just to close out, there's probably a decent amount of folks. And again, the long tail probably means that there's more players playing in bronze and silver, but keep in mind their investment into the game isn't that high. And I don't mean to diminish or belittle that, right? It's just like they're playing at the level that they want to play at. So either we need a ton of players coming in at that lower level, or we need, obviously significantly less to come in that want to play at the higher levels with max level cards and tens of thousands of SPS staked in order to get, the premium on the rewards. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did this surprise you? Did it not surprise you? Again, I think for most of us, we're probably not surprised, but at the same time, it's just kind of odd to see it there in very raw numbers. So I'm curious to get your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.